Foden. This is going to be my PvM build list or tier list for a solo self-found playthrough of the game. Hammerden, Summon Necro, Trapsin, Blizzard Source, and Frozen Orb Source are all going to be my S tiers. They are all very strong. You can just really get your way through the entire game pretty well. You do run into some resistance things, but with a little bit of, have some fireball or something for the off, you're going to be okay. Absolutely crushing. My A tiers are going to be a Wind Druid, a Bone Necro, a Lightning Fury, Amazon, and I'm going from left to right. A Fire Druid, Fire Sorceress, an Ice Zon, and then a Smiter. This is all going to be A tier for me, and it's very much left to right. Like a Wind Druid is very close to S tier, and a Smite is very close to B tier, right? So very much think of that order. But all of these are very strong through the game. You'll note that having this frozen arrow sorceress, freezing arrow there, having your Bone Necro, he's pretty safe. Your Fire Druid does great damage. Your Lightning Fury does great damage. A lot of this is they run into one element, or they're just a little bit weaker, or whatever it is. It's very, very close, though. For many of these, they're super strong. They're just a little bit weaker overall. Smite, some people might be surprised that Smite is up here, but I did a hardcore hell guided playthrough of a Smiter and loved it. The one thing about Smite is, yes, it doesn't have AoE, but it always hits. So you have zero of the issues that you have with all other melee characters, which is missing your attack. And when you hit every single time, you can actually do really good damage, because your damage is just getting Holy Shield, increasing your Smite skill, increasing your Holy Shield skill, and then increasing your Fanaticism skill. And with all three of those, and just having a shield that has good damage, your weapon damage is actually insanely high. So yeah, and then you throw some Crushing Blow in the mix and whatever, and your character always hitting. It actually was a great playthrough. I really loved it. I found that when I was going through the Chaos Sanctuary and stuff, I just didn't have issues. I just went where I wanted, and I just killed everything. You stun everything for like 8-9 seconds or something per hit when it's maxed out. And so you just hit everything around you, kill the thing you want, then go to the next one. Little bit slower for sure, but very, very fun character. In the B tier, I have a Lightning Sorceress, I have a Zealot, I have a Shout Barb, Poison Nova Necro, Frenzy Barbarian, Wolf Druid, a Physical Boson, and a Venge Pally, which we just did that guided playthrough for. All of these are going to be a little bit weaker. You're starting to see more melee characters, the Druid, the Barb, the Zealot, but they're still like the higher level tiers of them. Yes, you still need attack rating. Yes, you still run into those issues, but you're hitting a lot more often, and you're doing some good damage right there. And then as for things like Poison Nova Necro, he doesn't really have as much safety, which is why I kind of put him in here. And his damage is pretty weak until you really get to some gear. Warcry Barb is actually very safe and strong, but just so slow and takes so much mana. I put him down there. Lightning Sorceress is still a Lightning Sorceress, still very strong. You can get a lower res one to help with your charges or help with your immunities and stuff. But overall, she also takes some more gear to really get going. And then that's kind of same with like a Physical Boson and stuff. Just not quite as strong because you just need kind of more gear overall. So that's just kind of the piece there. In my C tier, I have a Concentrate Barbarian, I have a Werewolf, and I'm putting, or a Werebear, I'm putting that with the Summon Druid. They're kind of go hand in hand in my opinion a little bit. And then like a kicks in after that. Concentrate has the, once again, you're not running into as many of the issues, but it will be very slow. But your chance to hit will at least be good, but it's a very slow build. The Werebear, with the summons, you can stun, let your summons kill things. Again, extremely slow, requires a lot of plus to skills, a lot of boost, but you can at least like get through and be all right. And then a Kixen, she's okay. She has her problems for sure. But if you can get some really strong boots, once again, you can actually get really nice damage on her and do okay. But it just takes a lot of like finessing and moving monsters around for it all. And then in our D tier, Bladesin. I feel like I've played a few Bladesins and they've all been very tedious and exhausting. Yeah. IES doesn't affect it or anything. The biggest issue for me is the casting time. She like winds up and then cast it and then shoot. But if she gets put into hit recovery, she has to like wind up again to cast again. And it just like, it's brutal. Double throw barb. It's probably a little okay in some regard, but the amount of times you have to go back to town to repair over and over again is just going to drive you insane. Whirlwind Barbarian was a terrible experience. I have a guided playthrough on that as well, and it never picked up. It never got better. It was always bad damage, always just felt terrible, and it just never improved. Enchant Source, not really a single solo player build there, but it can be okay. You can like use it, get a passion for yourself. You can use it on your mercenary and like kind of make a buffed up mercenary go through the game. I think it can be fun, but still D tier for me. Fist of Heavens is just a garbage PvM skill. It just is so slow. Single target, takes forever. Don't do it. Hydra Source just doesn't do enough damage. You're just not going to get through the game with a Hydra Source. And if you are, it's not going to be fun. I don't even know why Holy Bolt is here. Or Fend or anything. Is that Fend? Is that skill? I see that skill so little. Yeah, that's Fend. Fend is broken. Like the skill actually is bugged. So that's why those are there. Yeah, so this is overall the PvM SSF playthrough tier list that I would place. I think it honestly is pretty fair. I wouldn't change much. I would maybe consider, like I say, moving Tornado or just a Wind Druid up to S tier. Maybe a couple minor shifts around, but very difficult to say. A lot of very solid things. Hammerden, Summon Necro, Trap Sin, Blizz Source, Frozen Orb Source. All very, very solid. All highly recommended by the llama. So, anyways, hope you guys like that one. Peace, YouTube.